Okay. Let me, oh wait, I can't do the, oh, I don't have the Facebook button anymore. That's weird. I do not have the Facebook button anymore. Okay, well, we'll just upload this to Facebook later then. All right, recording's a go. All right, let's get started then.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our November Women Veteran Empowerment Dialogue. My name is Cassie. I work in outreach and admissions for Warrior Scholar Project. And we have a very exciting WVED today. We're talking about how to help deployed service members over the holidays. And this is special to me because I served in the Marine Corps for 4 years and I deployed to Iraq over Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I received tons of care packages from strangers that I didn't know. And it made me feel like folks at home were thinking about me, and that it was just a very special thing. I received lots of handwritten notes and drawings from kids, and I received a Christmas tree from someone. It was very special, and I really appreciated it, and it really helped being overseas during that time. It made it a lot easier to get through. And so we have someone here with us, Lynelle Zelnar from she's the executive director and founder of Forgotten Soldiers Outreach. And this is exactly what she's doing. She's interested in sending care packages to deployed service members overseas, and really interested in sending handwritten notes and making them feel like they are not forgotten, because they aren't. And this is also a special WVED for us, because at the end, we're going to say how you can also be involved and helping make a difference to a service member who's deployed overseas. And so we'd like to welcome Lynelle. And if you don't mind, Lynelle, just sharing a little bit about yourself and a little bit of background about your organization.
Well, thank you. And I'm really honored to be here today and to be able to speak to so many veterans, which is amazing. So I cannot thank all of you enough for your service to our country, and seeing women empowered by serving our country just makes it that much extra special. So thank you guys, women, gals. Forgotten Soldiers Outreach, give you a little history. We're actually in our 19th year. We're doing our 19th annual packing of our holiday care packages this coming Saturday. But our whole mission has been, since 2003, to send that little bit of home to those who are serving our country, no matter what branch they're in and no matter where they're located. So we cover all world theaters and all branches of the military. And to date, we've benefited close to 500,000 of our troops serving overseas. And it's because of organizations throughout the country and our community in Lake Worth. We're in Lake Worth, Florida, but all of Florida and states throughout the country have been involved. How we got started is I was a full-time property manager managing the dreaded HOAs. And I don't mean the HOAs are bad, but managing them can be a real headache. It's a real thankless job. Anyhow, back in 2003, October, one of my coworkers' son was serving with 173rd Airborne, and he was deployed into Iraq. And he was calling home, very depressed, seeing some really bad things, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. And his mom asked me one day, please pray for Chris. And I did more than pray for him. I felt led to send him and his buddies a little bit of home. Well, I started speaking to people, and the next thing I knew, there were school teachers there. Our county, Palm Beach County, Florida, jumped on board with their aftercare programs, and kids started writing letters. Items started coming in, names of not only local military service members, but people who had family members throughout the country that were serving started coming in. It was like a domino effect. That was October of 03. By January of 04, an attorney came aboard pro bono and set us up as a not-for-profit. A CPA came aboard pro bono and set us up as a 501c3. It was very overwhelming. And then by March of 04, Good Morning America got a hold of us as being a grassroots organization, because as you recall, 2003 is when we really first entered into Iraq. It was the height of everything. And when we were on Good Morning America, that gave us the national exposure. But everything is funneled through our office down in Lake Worth, Florida, sunny South Florida. And we support our military no matter where they're deployed. What's happened over the years, when we first started, family members would register their loved ones who were serving. And once they're registered, they get a care package from us every month they're deployed. If they have any specifics, needs, or wants, we would make sure that we would accommodate them. We had someone in the Air Force who had allergies. He asked for Claritin and tissues. So every month we made sure that was added to his care packages. But what's happened over the last 10 years is the commanding officers and the chaplains and the team leaders have been registering those who don't hear their name at mail call. And I'm sure many of you may have been fortunate enough to receive care packages at mail call, but some may have not. And we get these people registered that for 6 months, they have not heard their name at mail call. And I just can't even imagine what it would be like to be around your comrades and everyone's getting something and you're not. So we're really all about boosting the morale. And that's what we try to achieve. Not only send them the goodies, the fun food, and some fun things, but we send them true essentials. Our list is pretty much made up of what has been requested over the years, from baby wipes, as many of you know, if you're in remote areas and have no access to bathing, you need those baby wipes to bathe. We send tampons, not just for women, but for gunshot wounds and so on. And a lot of protein food, snacks that keeps you going. You know, the peanut butter, the crackers, and so on. And of course, Girl Scout cookies. Well, who wouldn't like getting Girl Scout cookies? What's more patriotic than that? So what we do is we're tied in with Girl Scout councils down in South Florida that since 2007, when they do the cookies for the military, guess what? We're the organization. The 18-wheeler pulls up to our warehouse in March and unloads thousands of cases of Girl Scout cookies. So that's a staple item included in all of our care packages. But, you know, getting all that, like you mentioned, Cassie, is great. But it seems like the feedback we get, it's the letters that we receive from school children, especially, is really what tugs at the heart. And we find that many of our recipients will put them up in their barracks or wherever they're located. And you never know which one is going to make a difference for that person that day coming back on patrol after being out there for 12 hours. And it may remind them of their child at home, their sister or their brother. But we have kids, we have an educators link that's used throughout the country, schools throughout the country. Just last month, we tracked 33 states participated, but we've had months where every state has. Teachers love it, whether it's preschool or nursery school, all the way through 12th grade and even colleges. The teachers like to add it to their curriculum because it's a way for them to be able to teach current events, geography, history, grammar, English, letter writing skills. And that is probably the most important part of our care packages, is it really truly develops that connection to home when someone hears their name at mail call or just receives something from a stranger. And that is what's kept us going, is the feedback that we have received from many of our recipients. And yes, there's no guarantee they're going to write us back, but often we have had flags sent to us that have been flown over bases. We've had snail mail, emails posted on our social media, what have you. And many, not only from our local area, but many of our recipients from other states have actually come down to thank our volunteers and to let us know how much it meant to them. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's just, and that's what's kept us going. It's kept the fire going for the volunteers. People have been complacent over the years, and we tried to educate, especially through the students, the kids, that freedom's not free, and what you all do is so important. And when we speak to the youth of our future, you know, we hope that through them, they go home and they talk to their parents and let their parents know and remind them that they're able to do all these things because of people like you. And we love speaking with the Girl Scouts, and we love speaking with the women groups, because they really need to know and recognize our females that are serving our country. And we cry a lot in the office when we get letters from many of our recipients, and when they're registered, because it could be really, we've seen Dear John letters. We've heard of Dear John letters when many people have been deployed and they come home to nobody. So we're really, truly about boosting the morale. That's our program. And to have you all involved, writing to our troops, you could do it directly through our website or what have you, but writing to our troops and letting them know that you have served will really help boost their morale.
Thank you, Lynelle. I will say, I wonder if I ever received one of your packages, because I remember getting Girl Scout cookies and, like I said, letters and drawings from children, you know, and at the time I didn't have any children, but I will say that those were the most favorite things that I received, because there was no connection, but because someone had like taken the time out, and like you're saying, like I had no idea that it was something that teachers had put into their curriculum and incorporated it in that way. And knowing that now, that just makes it even more special that the teachers are trying to impart this knowledge on these kids. And I apologize about my dog. But those letters and drawings were the most special things. And I put them up in my room. I had a journal that I would slip them into and I would take with me when I would go outside the wire. And those were the most special pieces that I received. So thank you for that explanation. I didn't know any of that. And I kind of feel bad now that I never sent anything back, showing my appreciation, but truly they really helped boost my morale through the time that I was deployed.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we heard a little bit about how folks can help out in regards to writing letters. Are there any other ways that folks like us can contribute or help out in this mission and helping folks overseas?
Y'all being veterans, there's so many things that you could do to really assist us. We've had the obstacle since the withdrawal from Afghanistan, some ignorance of people for not knowing any different, saying, well, since they've all been withdrawn from Afghanistan, why are you still doing this? And I would have to explain, many of the men and women who have been withdrawn from Afghanistan have been redeployed to other locations throughout the world. And our numbers keep going up. I mean, just in the last week, we have had recipients registered that are in Qatar, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, or something like that, a new one I haven't heard of before, Djibouti. Yes, that's it, because we like that, Djibouti. And a lot of ships right now are in the Mediterranean. So we have so many new recipients that are out there. And like I said, we're telling people, listen, they may have pulled out of Afghanistan, doesn't mean anything. They're just being restationed to other locations. So we do depend on the veterans to maybe notify, let the community know that there are thousands of troops out there, men and women, who still need that connection to home. Many have been on multiple deployments, as many of you have, and some have retired or have gotten out. And so we're seeing a lot more newbies, first timers who have never been away from home before. And so it's probably now more important than ever to let our troops know they're not forgotten. So, that's one thing the veterans can do is, let the community know about us. If you all have friends or, comrades that are still serving anywhere in the world, that you can register them directly on our website. We have Register a Soldier, and I'm using the term soldier loosely, but we cover all branches. Our chairman of the board's a Marine, so we cover everyone. But Register a Soldier, and we ask specific questions that are force fields, like when they're expected to come home and so on. So we don't waste the postage. This way we contact them a few months out to make sure they're still on target. With COVID, many were extended for several months last year. But really, if you know people that are currently serving, register them so we can let them know they're not forgotten. Speak to your community, speak at your VFWs or wherever you are, whether it's the school, speak to your children, your friends, and let them know there's a lot of deployments still continuing, regardless what we hear in the news. It's a fact. We see it coming through our office. The other thing is writing letters, like I mentioned. You can go directly to our website. We have Write a Soldier, and we screen everything, even the little kids' letters, because some of them are so literal that, we don't want to send some of them. But we do screen, and we've had dating services where people in prison would send emails and love notes and think that we're a dating service. So we do screen through, but hearing from veterans, I think, would be a very important thing. So letters, items, we're constantly running short on our care package items. We have an Amazon wish list. So it would just be drop shipped to us. So you could go to Amazon wish list, put in Forgotten Soldiers Outreach, or you could go directly to our website for a list of items, ForgottenSoldiers.org. So we need care package items, letters of encouragement. If you are anywhere in South Florida, you can contact us about any volunteer opportunities. Due to COVID, we only have minimum people in our warehouse at any one time. But if you're retired, Tuesdays are generally our day that we have volunteers that come in to do the things that are done behind the scenes, like inventory, looking at the dates, because yes, people will go through their cupboards and send us expired items or items from a long time ago that are gross. So, but we need volunteers at our warehouse to do a lot of things, as well as when we have different events. We just had our 7th annual Heroes Toast Champagne Brunch, and we had volunteers, a committee of 16 people helping out with that. And, it takes a village to produce. But, so volunteerism, letters of encouragement, care package items, and if it's easier for you to just write a check, $25 sponsors a box. You can do it directly through our website. And we say $25 because when we first started, there was no flat rate. So what we would send to Korea and send to Iraq, same contents, could be a different cost. So at that time, the average cost was $19, $20. To cover everything else when we send larger boxes. So if we're sending to a unit, because we've had units registered and there's no more PXs where they're located, they do their makeshift PX, we'll send larger boxes. There's no flat rate for that. So $25 sponsors a box. But as you know, postage has gone up twice this year already, and it definitely impacts us. We've gotten a little bit of help through the post office because we're doing it internally. We have their system. So we're saving a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. So it helps us. But with postage going up, it's leaving our margin that much smaller. Our operations center was donated for years, and then he needed the money, which was fine. We have an angel that has wrote our expenses for our warehouse the last several years. So that's been a blessing. We try to go for as many donations as possible, but still that $25 is a small margin, but that covers the shipping of the care packages. And we don't ask a lot like other organizations. We're very transparent. Our 990s are posted on our website. And if any of you are ever in South Florida, contact me and we'll give you a personal tour and you can see what we do. We also offer sponsored packing events. And so if anyone is in the South Florida area and they're working and their employer, or you get a group of friends together, we've had birthday parties, $25 sponsors a box. We've had people raise funds and they come in and they'll have their own private packing event. They'll put in the care package a little note from them. So it's customized, personalized. So there's just so many things. If you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, have them do handprints. Like maybe at Thanksgiving time, when you're going around the table and giving what you're thankful for, have them write a note. The little kids, the babies, handprints, footprints with a little note on there. That goes a long way. And for a quick story, when we moved into our last facility in 2009, because when the market dropped, the place we were in, the market went bad. The owner of that facility that was donated to us went under and foreclosed. So we had to move. We put out a big e-blast and the media was all over it. We had someone else donate our current location. We had all the political people at the event for the ribbon cutting ceremony. A young man came up to me and said he wanted to thank us because we were the only people that was sending him anything during his deployment. Meanwhile, his wife was there, pregnant, and he said what helped him was he broke down and cried in front of everybody. So there was not a dry eye in front of 100 dignitaries that day, and said he had a piece of paper that was just a piece of scribble scrabble from a daycare center. And that's what kept him going during the rest of his deployment, knowing that he would be coming home to his child, his son that would be born. And his son now is 11 or 12 years old. And Josh says he still carries that because that's what motivated him. So you never know what your note and message can mean. So those are, just different ways, getting the word out about us, writing letters. You could write it and mail it to us. Be creative with your church, get your church involved. It's endless. And from all ages, from babies, we have a 102-year-old who's been volunteering. She's not driving anymore, thank God. But, she helps us. And so, whatever y'all can do would be appreciated.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, that's so many different ways for folks to get involved. And very interesting, different ideas. And I think we did drop in the chat the website, the link to your website, and also the link to the wish list. So if folks are attending and they want to check those out, please feel free to look at those and donate some of those items. And I think you raised a really good point in that spreading the word about how just because we may have pulled out of Afghanistan doesn't mean that we have service members deployed in all corners of the world. Even we can have folks deployed within the United States too. And it's important to remember that sometimes those folks don't receive mail from anyone, like you're saying. And, it can, for a 19-year-old kid or 20-year-old kid, that can be it can be a lonely experience, not receiving anything from anybody. And so having these care packages is essential, in my opinion, in order to keep their motivation and keep them feeling not forgotten, because there are wonderful folks like you, Lynelle, who have created entire organizations to do just that. And so, from my perspective as a veteran who has been deployed, that is something, you say, thank you for your service, but I say, thank you. We appreciate all that you are doing for our service members, because it is an important part of that, experience to have folks on the other side, sending things, and especially the essential items, like you're saying, like feminine care items, things that people don't think that you would necessarily need while you're deployed, but that, when you are deployed and you're, traveling outside the wire where there's no PX to go to, there's no convenience store. And so having those items sent by folks like you, so that you can take them with you is, it's important. And I think it's often overlooked. And so thank you so much for doing what you're doing and having this service in order to reach out to those people.
Thank you. And I want to add something, and I appreciate you saying that, especially coming from you. It's all about educating the community and the public, because if they don't have anyone serving in their family, they don't understand. So that's why we try to go to the kids and educate them, for them to go home and educate their family. I had a volunteer years ago. Starbucks was very big about donating coffee to us. And a lot of times they would just send the coffee beans. Well, I had a volunteer chastise me. How can you send beans without, a grinder? And I explained, because we were educated, that a lot of the troops would chew the coffee beans when they're on patrol. And so a lot of things we send, and we try to educate. When we do a packing event, we explain everything to the people there, that even the Q-tips are used, whether it's for cleaning their guns, it's not just for ears. So, everything we send is multi-purpose, and our list is pretty much made up of what is requested. We've had additional requests for other items, and when they ask, we'll send out an e-blast to thousands of people who are registered on our list, and let them know this is what we're looking for. That's another way too. If everyone goes to our website today, forgottensoldiers.org, there's a little box where they can just register to get our emails. We send out emails. I try to send out an e-newsletter every month, or at least every quarter. But, periodically, if we have special requests, we'll send it out to the list too. So that's another way to kind of be connected, to know what's going on and know what our needs are. If we have any special messages, that's a great way for your organization to kind of help us too. And, I can't thank you and everyone else enough for your service, because what you all do is amazing.
Thank you. Another important thing that you mentioned that I want to highlight is the education part of all of this. You're right. A lot of families don't have someone in their immediate family, or even, in their wider community, that they know personally that has served or is actively serving. And I think because of that, there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding service and what that means and what it looks like, and how it feels, just the whole experience. And so having that education, especially for our young children, just anybody, is crucial. And so, you're also not only, sending tangible material goods to our service members, but also imparting this education in the wider community and society, and really opening the idea of what this experience is like. And hopefully people will walk away with a better understanding of what it means to serve in the military and how isolating it can be. And so thank you for that. Really, truly appreciate that as well. I'm not sure if I've missed a question or if we have any other questions, Camilla, that we can.
So this isn't a question, but I think it's a really thoughtful comment from Veronica that says, your efforts really matter and make a difference. I still have the shoebox I received from the American Red Cross filled with personal hygiene items, and hang the Christmas cards I received from children on my mantle each year.
Oh.
They are amongst my most prized items and part of my life story. So I just thought that was really, really beautiful. And I think that highlights just how important the work you do is. And like you said before, regardless of politics, there are folks out there who are alone and feel alone. And this is something that really would help with that. And so that's one of the reasons why WSP, we're trying to partner with y'all's organization. And I don't know if we let you know, but we're doing our own letter writing campaign tomorrow. And we're all going to write letters and send them to you. And I'm bringing your educator's packet to my daughter's daycare. So hopefully the daycare will get involved. But we're hoping to get a good push out there before the holidays, because like you said, the holidays can be a time that are particularly challenging for folks when they are not with family, whether that be, because they're deployed or just because of the pandemic or whatever. And so we really want to make sure that those who are serving are feeling supported and feeling like there are people who are thinking about them, that they are not forgotten, that they are, not alone. And we just so appreciate you, teaming up with us. Somebody else in the chat brought up that one of the things that we that there's a huge need for is that resources while folks are deployed to help, like foster their dogs or to help take care of aging family members. And I just didn't know if you know of any resources available for folks who are deployed but maybe don't have support systems back at home and need help with some of the stuff that you would need, to take care of on the home front. And I just didn't know if you knew of any other organizations that help with that as well.
I don't know if Operation Homefront does that. That may be within their realm. I'm not 100% sure. I do know in Palm Beach County that there's different small groups,
right?
Even though they're nonprofits. But I hear that a lot. And what I have seen is a lot of times the FRGs, or through just knowing, I'm a member of so many different veteran groups that think requests come in. A lot of times we find people pulled together. But I agree, there should be something to take care of the family, mow the lawn. I mean, we've seen that where people will volunteer. I'll put a request out there and say, so-and-so's family, his wife is deployed.
Right.
Can you help him out? But there really should be an organization that would do that. I think there should be more family support for, especially, and I've been talking to some other groups lately, some other veteran groups, is I think something that's real critical is when you guys come home. Mm-hmm. There's just not enough time for you guys to really recondition yourselves. And I think the spouses, whether it's the husband or wife, really needs that additional support too, to prepare for your coming home. And so several of us have been talking about what we can do for that. But there are, that's something people can check with their local VFW or American Legion, or even with the recruiters' offices, because often even the recruiters may put a team together to help out. And I have seen that where a mother has 3 children, needs help with getting them to the ballet or whatever their thing is, needs help in the house, whether it was just cleaning the house. And I've seen different groups just as small as a VFW, American Legion, or recruiting station to come and help or get people to help. So, I mean, those are some resources to look into.
That's a really great one. One of the questions we have here is just, how could we send individual cards or drawings to y'all? Should we just mail them in a specific type of envelope, or just throw them in the mail? And what address do we mail them to?
Very good question. First of all, because we have to proofread everything, and we really look mainly for content, make sure it's uplifting, nothing negative. We are non-political. We stay out of being political. So we tell people, if you're going to mail a packet of letters or a few letters, put it in one envelope. You don't need to put them in individual envelopes. We have to open it. So if you have a few, just put them in a big regular, big envelope or whatever, and just mail it directly to us. Our address is 3550 23rd Avenue South, Suite 7, Lake Worth, Florida, 33461. And that's on our website, forgottensoldiers.org. Or they can, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and put that in the chat so everyone can see it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And they can always email us at contact@forgottensoldiers.org or Lynelle, Lynelle, at forgottensoldiers.org. They can call our office. We're there, and we always try to help out family members that have family overseas. They find that's, we're not just about, like Cassie mentioned, we're not just about sending care packages, although that's our mission.
Mhm.
When we first started, and it continues this way, family members, at least in our local area, that have relatives overseas get involved because they find it therapeutic. My assistant, I've had her now, Janelle, for I think 10 years or 11 years, she's been with me. Her son was deployed. That's how she found out about us. And she found it, it's her only child. So she found it to be therapeutic. And then people meet other parents or family members, and it becomes like a network amongst themselves.
Mhm.
It's become a multifaceted organization, which I, thank God for that, because we've made it 19 years, feast or famine. I started getting a paycheck many years ago, but at first I resisted, but the board said it was either me or they had to hire someone. And then I started learning about what nonprofits are about. You have to have someone to do this, and I realized. So I took a pay cut, got involved, and I do have one staff. I have an assistant. I have a part-time finance person on board and a part-time volunteer manager. And we've gotten to that point, but it's a feast or famine. There were many years I went without a check.
Right.
This was always the main priority, but we help others and we get involved with other community efforts because it's so important for people to know it's not just about the boosting their morale when they come home. We want to be there for them too.
Right.
The results, two of our board members were recipients of ours. And just to share a quick story, Chris, our chairman of the board, is a Marine, is a Marine. And he served 13 tours, 6 were combat. He was medically retired in 2013. He came home, had some serious injuries. He got involved with Florida Power and Light, which is our local utility company. He worked with them. FPL has been very involved with us for years. They always sponsored our Christmas and July packing. He came in along with many executives one day for a packing event, and he realized we were the organization sending him packages. Well, here's this big Marine. He broke down and cried. He was not a dry eye. All the executives were crying. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And from that point on, he got so involved with us and he became the chairman of the board. And it just shows how it worked for him, what we were doing. And now he's a spokesperson. We have another guy who was in the Army, and he was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. He was one of our very first recipients. He's involved with us. He's been with us as a spokesperson for years. And then we even have a POW from Vietnam who found us back in 2006. And he knows what it's like from just being in Vietnam. So everyone has a story on our board, but when you have recipients that have experienced it and they can talk about it, it chokes me up because it's not about me. It's what everybody has pulled together to let our troops know they're not forgotten. And I just can't believe it's been 19 years and the need's there. The need is still there. And we have young men and women out there now that really, I think hearing from a veteran is probably just what they need. And we don't do this just for the holidays, although the holidays is probably when they get all the support, because that's when people start thinking about them. It's the other months after the holidays that people don't think about our troops overseas. People become complacent. So whether you do something now or wait, for the other months, January, February, March, those are real critical months for our troops. So, we do it all year round, and whatever you all could do, and I think hearing from a veteran could go a long way. It's probably just as critical as getting a letter from a child. So I just appreciate being here. You guys are awesome.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Lynelle. One other question that we have is, if somebody knows someone who is deployed, how would they go about nominating them?
All they have to do is go to our website, forgottensoldiers.org, and they'll see register a soldier. And like I mentioned before, if they just click on it, it will ask specific questions, their APO or FOB, wherever they're located. We need all that information. And we'll ask for their email address and perhaps the soldier's email address. If they want anything in particular, if there's a specific request, let's say they like sunflower seeds, we'll make sure every package of those gets sunflower seeds every month. But whatever it is, that we welcome you to register them. And what we do is 3 months out, when we know their expected date, we finally got wise a few years back when packages would be coming back, and that's a waste of postage because we didn't know when they were coming home. So now it's a force field. Give us an approximate date of when they're coming home. And we know mail stops like a month before. So, but we contact them directly. And if we can't get a hold of them, whoever registered them, to find out if they're still on schedule, if they've been extended. So it helps us reduce some of the postage. We have had some people say they're leaving, but they have another unit coming in. This is their information, and that's fine, and we'll continue. But yeah, register them on our list and they'll get a care package for every month they're deployed.
That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynelle.
No, thank you.
So we're getting close to the end of our time. We want to make sure that, sorry, my son wants to also contribute to the conversation. Right. Maybe we'll do some handprints or something later as a prize.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to make sure that we have gotten any questions. So if anybody has any other questions in the, go ahead and put them in the chat so that we can make sure. I know Cassie, you were gonna talk about our upcoming boot camps as well, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And then Lynelle, you should be seeing a package coming from WSP soon with a bunch of letters.
Awesome, thank you. One other thing, I saw someone put up something about pets. We do send to the military working dogs. They get registered. So we'll send to the handler and the dogs. So, we take care of our military working dogs when they're registered. They get them and the handlers get them. And it's funny that someone put something up there. We do an annual Memorial Day service. Every year we have a different theme. This year it's military working dogs and service dogs. So we have several local organizations that have the service dogs that will be represented in the keynote speaker as a military vet who will be talking about it. So we cover a wide spectrum. So that just triggered that thought. But I thank you guys again for this opportunity, and I'll hang in there if there's any questions.
Thanks. Yeah, we did get a couple more questions come into the chat. The first is, do you have a sample package that you could show us?
Yes, now this is going to be a little difficult, but keep in mind, this is just a sample. Can you see it or no?
Maybe back up a little. I'm not sure. There you go. We can see it now.
This is just a sample. Where we have the Girl Scout cookies, we have letters in here, we have socks, baby wipes, snack food, deodorant, basic toiletries.
Yeah.
Weird to get like this. But the toothpaste, the snack food, and so on. But when we do our packings, and I want everyone to understand, that's just like a sample box, and you could probably see it through our social media pages. You can see some of our packing events. Matter of fact, our homepage, I think, does, we had a video made where it will show you how we pack and what goes in the, so you can see that directly on our website. But when we pack, we have the no air rule. So when we have a packing event, if I can stick my finger in the box, we reject it, and we send that packer back to the line to find stuff to fit it in. So you can flip the box over, nothing will fall out. So we have at least $60 worth of items in there, but it makes it more challenging and fun for people. People think, oh, I'm just going to go pack boxes and throw things in. No, it's like doing the Rubik Cube or, whatever. We have it where, it's fun, but they have to fill every bit of air in the box.
That's awesome. Just really packing those boxes with all kinds of goodies. And I can tell you, as a recipient of these care packages, it is so much fun to get a very full box, and you think you're at the end of it and you're not. You just keep pulling more stuff out. It's really fun. It is a lot of fun. One other question that we received, is there a special list for items to send to service dogs and working dogs? Do you have a list for them?
We don't, because what happens when they're registered, then we'll send out an e-blast of that. There was a handler that several military working dogs were just registered on our list, and we'll let them know, we'll let everyone know what was requested. So that's why if you register just to get emails, it doesn't cost anything. You're not going to get slammed with a bunch of emails. It's once a month, if that, or if there's a need, but we will send out a special request that we're looking for these items.
Okay, great.
We depend on the handler to tell us what they need.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, Lynelle, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And I think that it's really timely because the holidays are coming up. But I also think that you mentioned something really important, that it's not just the holidays that folks need encouragement or support, right? And I think the holidays are when organizations that are like yours are sending packages. I remember getting 2 or 3 packages from different organizations around this time of year. It's the other months of the year that are also equally as important, if not more, because it kind of like slips people's minds, right? We get back into, January starts and we get back into just normal working mode and sort of just slips our minds a little. And so your organization steps in and ensures that folks don't get forgotten. And I think that that is even more important, because especially those months, which are already hard to get through, just being here in the States is even more challenging when you're deployed. Yeah. So thank you so much. This has been so informative, and it's an amazing organization. Thank you for creating this from a veteran's perspective, who I'm pretty sure I received something from your organization, really helped me get through that time of being away from my family during Thanksgiving and Christmas and my birthday and things like that. And so I know that your organization is helping other folks in the same way that you helped me. And so really, really appreciate that you have started this and that you're continuing it. And, even though it's been challenging at times, we super appreciate it, because it really, really, I can't stress enough how much it really does help boost morale and just, encourage folks to get through this time. And so thank you. It's folks like you that really the support that you're showing for our service members, it really it warms my heart when I see folks doing that, because sometimes it feels very isolating, and that people just say thank you for your service, and that's all they do, but you're going above and beyond that, and so really appreciate that. And so, as our organization is going to be doing something to give back, and hopefully you'll be receiving those soon.
Thanks for the tears and making me. Thank you, guys. I can't thank you enough for getting the word out and for your service and everyone's service, because you guys really do make a difference. And it's up to us to let people know how important you all are.
Thank you. I really appreciate, on behalf of all veterans, I really do appreciate that. So as Camilla said, we are kind of winding down the end of our time. If you're just joining us, or if you're wondering how to support Lynelle's organization, there's a link in the chat where you can go to the website. And then there's a link to the Amazon wish list page where you can donate items. There's many different ways that you can donate, so please check that out. And before we conclude, I will throw in a little plug for Warrior Scholar Project. If you are out there and you're interested in higher education, we have some academic boot camps coming up in December 12th through the 17th, a humanities and a STEM. So if you are interested, Camilla, would you mind putting your email in the chat, or you can put my email in the chat, whichever is more convenient. Please reach out to us and let us know if you're interested, or if you know of someone who might benefit from participating in one of our courses, please feel free to send our information to anyone and everyone, and any veteran, active duty service member, reservist, guardsman, anybody that might be interested or might benefit from going through one of our courses. Please feel free to send them our information. And so I want to thank Lynelle so much. Thank you again for joining us and telling us all about your wonderful organization and all the ways that we can support you and support our service members who are deployed, and really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us and talk with us about that. And I'm also just really glad that I get the chance to thank you personally, because I'm 99% sure I received a box from you. So I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be amongst you.
Thank you. Camilla, is there anything that I've forgotten?
No, that's everything. I'm sorry, Oliver thinks that there's something.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. And this has been so much fun. We really appreciate it. We are going to have one more WVED next month, hopefully. But no, this is our last one for until the spring. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is our last one until the spring. Thank you all so much for coming to our fall WVED series. We'll have a spring WVED series, and we're looking forward to that. If you have any ideas about things that you want us to talk about, please send them our way, because we are always looking for more topics and more ideas to talk about. Again, we want to thank you, and we'll go ahead and stop recording now.